Is your goal to live a more frugal life? If so, then you're constantly looking for ways to save money, especially as you get older. It's about being intentional so that you get the greatest benefit from every dollar you spend. Hi, everyone. My name is Susan, and welcome to my channel where we'll talk about all things related to living a happy and healthier life as we get older. So, today I'd like to talk about 10 ideas I have that might help you to save some money. So, the first is to buy items that get you the most value. And what I mean by that is, of course, to buy items that are perhaps a little more expensive initially, but in the long run, they will last longer and you won't have to, purchase them again in a year or 6 months. So, to take something like an article of clothing, maybe you buy a sweater that's not a very expensive brand. And of course, you wear it a few times and then it starts to pill or it starts to lose its shape after it's washed. And that really it's not a very thoughtful purchase. It is really basically wasting your money because you can buy something that's more expensive, a little bit more expensive, and it will last you for a year, 2 years. I have sweaters that are 5, 6, 10 years old, honestly, and they've lasted me a long, long time, far longer than anything that is fast fashion and would just no longer be wearable in a year. So that's my first tip. My second tip is to maintain your expensive items. So something like your car is very important to maintain. Cars are very expensive, of course, these days. And you really need to keep up with things like oil change, getting tune-ups, new wiper blades, perhaps, things like that, that you need to keep your car up to date and keep it running smoothly. I drive a car that's about 16 years old and it has almost 211,000 miles on it. And I keep it maintained as best I can. And so, it's lasted me a very long time. And I paid outright for it. So, over the years, I've certainly gotten value and I've gotten my money's worth from that car. And I will continue to drive it until it decides it doesn't want to be driven anymore. So that is my tip for expensive items that you might spend a little bit more money for initially. This next idea is a small one, but I think it will save you money over time, and that is to use real china and not paper plates. You know, it's just so much prettier and it makes food taste better, makes your table look more beautiful when you use real china. So why not take the time? I mean, you can go to thrift stores and buy really nice plates and bowls for very little money, and you won't have that accumulation of trash with the paper plates. So, as I said, it's a small one, but it's a good one to help save you money. This next idea is to cook from scratch. When you cook at home, you have control of the ingredients that you put into your meals, and you can avoid unhealthy fats or excess sodium and sugar. So that's certainly going to save calories and make your cooking more healthy, but also will save you money if you shop and buy fresh produce as opposed to some pre-made type of meals, which you don't know exactly what's in there as far as the fats and the excess sodium, which is very unhealthy for us as we get older. We have to watch our sugar intake and our sodium intake. That's very important. So, cooking for yourself is not only a healthy way, but it's a more frugal way to prepare your meals. And if you're a little unsure about how to prepare meals, there are many videos available that will help you to learn to prepare simple meals using few ingredients, but very fresh ingredients. Another way is to check on your local farms in your area, and they might offer a CSA, which is a membership program where they grow of course, the crops and the produce, and then they offer it each week. It's something different, and they offer it to the members, and you pick up what's available that particular week. Sometimes they have recipes that go along with it if you're picking up something that you're really unfamiliar with and you don't know what to do with it or how to cook it. It's very helpful to have the recipe cards. So that's a great idea. Now, sometimes the CSAs are for two people or a family or whatever, but if that's the case, then maybe you can share it with a family member or a friend. But that's just an excellent way to get fresh produce into your meals. And in the long run, it will save you money because you're not running to the food store all the time. So that's a really great idea. Eating out at restaurants is also something that's very expensive, and that's certainly not a frugal way to live. And it might be a treat once in a while, but you don't want to make it a habit because it's very unhealthy. Restaurant food has just so many calories and unnecessary fats and salt and sugar because they want to make everything taste good and appeal to everyone. So they're going to increase some of those items, some of those things into their cooking, and it's just not healthy. This next idea is something we've heard over and over again, and it's so true, but we still tend to do it from time to time. And that is don't shop hungry. You know, the average person spends $26 more per shopping trip when they shop hungry, and that's just a waste of money. So just be careful that you're not, starving when you go to the food store because you will spend more money, obviously. Also, you'll spend more on unhealthy snacks. For some reason, we tend to pick up more snacks when we're shopping hungry. I guess that's just something that appeals to us when we're hungry. So that will lead to eating an unhealthy diet, and we certainly don't need all those unnecessary snacks. And that is, of course, another way to be frugal and to save money. And this next tip is to cancel your magazine subscriptions. You probably don't realize how much money you're spending on subscriptions, but it would certainly save you money to cancel them and just go to the library. You can check out magazines and obviously books, but you know, you'll save a lot of money if you cancel your magazine subscriptions. Also, I go to the thrift store and get magazines when I need some magazines to read, and they're so cheap. I mean, I spent probably 50 cents each and chosen some really good magazines that, you can take them home, flip through them. You can even redonate them so they don't accumulate in your home. And another idea is, I don't know if this applies to you in your area, but in my local post office, we have a little spot where people just donate magazines and books. And it's just such a great idea. Maybe you have that in your local post office also. So that's just a really good idea for picking up magazines for free or for pennies. It's another way to be frugal. Okay, this next idea is to shop for Christmas or how to get gifts all year long. If you're out shopping, and it could be any time throughout the year, and you see an item that's on sale and you think it would be a perfect gift for a family member, and you think to yourself, well, it's not Christmas. Christmas is a long way off, and I have plenty of time to shop. Well, that would not be a frugal shopper because you could purchase the item, check it off your list, and you've saved money. So when you're out shopping throughout the year, keep that in mind so you don't have to stand in line or deal with crowds a week or 2 weeks before Christmas. It always makes me laugh when I see people running around and trying to shop for last minute gifts. And of course, they're spending more money than they should. And that's just not a frugal way to shop. This next idea to be frugal is to make your own cleaning products. There are so many household products that we have around the home that we can use. Vinegar, baking soda, and lemon are three items that we all have at home that can be used to clean pots and pans, silverware, carpeting, all kinds of things. If you sprinkle a little baking soda on your carpet and vacuum it, that will help to eliminate odors. If you use coffee grounds, either new or used, and place them in the refrigerator, just tuck it away in a little corner. That will help to deodorize your refrigerator. Lemon juice is great for cleaning cutting boards and pots and pans mixed with some salt. There are just so many hacks. And of course, it saves you money because it really hasn't cost you anything. So that's a great idea. Instead of purchasing, harsh chemicals or certain products that you can get at the store, but that are very expensive. So that's a great way to be frugal. The next idea is to use auto payments. We all have monthly expenses, and of course, they're the same month after month. But if we forget to make a payment on a particular due date, then we're charged a late fee, and this is just such a waste of money. So for all your bills, your utility bills, your mortgage payments, whatever you have, set it up for auto pay, and then you don't have to worry about it because it will automatically be deducted from your account, and then you won't have to worry about having a late charge. And this is a great way to save some money. And lastly, the frugal way to shop for household items, furniture, home decor is, of course, thrift shopping. It's so great to go to a thrift store and you can find furniture. I mean, you can find just about anything at a thrift store. And of course, you're going to save a lot of money because the pricing will be a fraction of what you would pay at a furniture store if you're looking for furniture, or home decor if you go to one of the home decor stores where everything seems to be so expensive. And thrift shopping is just fun. So that's a great way to practice being frugal. So those are my 10 ideas for living a more frugal life as we get older. If you have more ideas, I would love it if you would leave it in the comments below. And if you like this video and find it valuable or helpful, please take a moment to subscribe. It would help the channel and give you notifications of future videos. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.